Welcome to the Drayway. I am so glad you're here. We got some things to talk about. Before we get started, I hope everyone travels safely this week, Thanksgiving week. Please, safe travels. We got a lot to talk about. Let's go. Yes, the thing I want to talk about first, before we even get really started into the main body of the show, I want to talk about the one thing that's kind of driving me crazy lately, and that is the whole thing with tariffs and everybody worried about what's going to happen with Donald Trump coming into office. Well, if he does what he says he's going to do, and that is put tariffs on foreign products that most Americans depend on, that means one thing and one thing only, and we have to put it out there. It means you're going to be paying more for the things you typically buy. Yeah, it doesn't mean that you're going to suddenly go, oh, wait a minute. These products that I've been buying are now coming in from, China or wherever. They're more expensive. Now I'm going to buy American goods because they'll be less expensive. It doesn't work that way. It's never worked that way, and it's not going to work that way this time either. What's going to happen is if Donald Trump puts the tariffs on that he says he's going to put on, it means that we're going to have a lot more expensive goods throughout the whole exchange. Everywhere, everything will be more expensive. That means inflation goes higher. That means you pay more for goods that you typically pay less money for. And who does this benefit? Somebody tell me, where is the benefit in all of this? How does American companies benefit? How do we as the buying public, how do we benefit if we're now paying more for our goods? I just don't understand how this universal tariff is supposed to work. And why everyone's freaking out about it is because that's just it. I want everyone to understand that's exactly it. And when I say it's the Republicans saying things and not knowing how it really works. And I cannot emphasize this enough, because I've been around a really long time. I have seen Republican presidents over and over and over again. And what they consistently do is overpromise and underdeliver, because they have no concept of how to get things done in Washington. Washington is no joke. Washington is not easy. It is difficult to get things done in Washington. Everybody knows this. But for some reason, when a Republican like so-called Donald Trump gets up and starts saying, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to give you free this, I'm going to give you free that, I'm going to deport millions of people. When he gives you all this chum in the water so that, you sharks have something to munch on, that's all it is. It's just chum in the water. It's no real substance. It's no real meat. Because the meat of getting things done in Washington, it's extremely difficult. It's very, very hard. And it's not a campaign point. It's not like you can go on the campaign stump and go, I'm going to get to Washington and try to do really, really hard things that are going to take a really, really long time to do. Does that sound like a selling point to you? Does that sound like something you can get up on the stump and say? It doesn't, does it? But that's exactly what we're heading into. We're heading into, and businesses are getting ready. And businesses are flat out saying, we're ready to raise prices. We're ready to make things more expensive for you. Yeah. I mean, whether it's Walmart or Lowe's or pick the company, they've already said, yeah, if the tariffs hit, yeah, you're going to see much higher prices. Yeah. So they're already putting out the word. So I have to get back to the original thought. Who does this benefit? Because it's all about it. It's all about, okay, how do we make this actually work? How do we actually get these things done? Kind of like the whole deportation thing. I'm going to deport 11 million people. How? How? You're going to use the military? No, you can't do that. That's against the law. You know, you can't use the military. No. Against American citizens? No, you can't do that. You know, and I can't see anyone voting for that or allowing that to happen. So how the thing that we have to keep continually asking is, because once Donald Trump is about to hit Washington. He's going to hit Washington in less than 60 days. He's going to be the next president of the United States. And then you can't talk about it anymore. You have to actually do. And I'm trying to prepare you. I'm trying to let you know the do is what Republicans don't do. They don't do the do. They talk about it. But actually doing the work to get things done, yeah, they don't do that. That's not a thing. And don't expect it over the next 4 years. If you have these great expectations of Donald Trump actually getting things done, because that's his responsibility. He said, and he alone can get things done. But if you're in his camp, you're about to find out, that's not true. That's not what's going to happen at all. Because again, getting things done in Washington requires cooperation, requires, getting together and a little give, a little take. Donald Trump isn't about a little give and a little take. He thinks he's king. He thinks he can say, I want this like this. Doesn't work that way in Washington. Never has, never will. Let me know what you think in the comments. Welcome to the Dre Way. I am so glad you're here. Put in the comments what you think. Do you actually think Republicans are going to get anything done? And if you say yes, tell me specifically what you think they're going to get done in the next 4 years. Welcome to the Dre Way. I'm glad you're here. Stay right there. We have more to talk about. Some of my favorite memories as a kid is Thanksgiving. Because Thanksgiving is a time that family gets together, family gets to do family things. And in my family, growing up as a kid, in my family, we used to play cards all the time. You name the card game, we played it. Whether it was 99, if you don't know how to play 99, 99 is a fun game. It's played with 3 quarters, and I'll explain it sometime. But if you have never played 99 with 3 quarters, you need to learn that game because it's a lot of fun with family. But we would play cribbage, gin. But my grandfather Joe, we would play pinochle. I don't know how many of you know how to play pinochle, but oh my gosh, we would play pinochle until. And the thing about my grandfather was, I should say my great-grandfather. The thing about my great-grandfather is he would chew cigars. He didn't buy tobacco. He just bought cheap cigars. And he would bite and crunch on them and then, put it. And I'll never forget, my grandmother would come walking by and be like, have you spit recently? And my grandfather would be like, and she's like, go spit. So here my grandfather would be holding all that juice in his jaw, and he'd go spit, and it sounds gross and everything else, but it's just one of those family memories that you remember. My grandmother getting all mad because my great-grandfather would just sit there because he didn't want to leave the table. My grandfather did not want to leave the table, and because what happens if you lost, you lost the table, and now another team came in because you would play partners. Like I said, if you don't know how to play pinochle, what a shame. But we didn't just stop at cards. Backgammon. I don't know why people don't play backgammon anymore. Backgammon is so much fun. And back in the 70s, particularly in the 70s and early 80s, everybody was playing backgammon. And we used to have a blast doing it. So Every Thanksgiving now, we bring back all those games. Do you do it at your house? Do you guys bring back the games that you've been playing for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years? Because we still do the same thing. I can't, the one thing I do miss is I can't play gin with my cribbage with my father anymore. I used to play cribbage with my dad all the time. And I have to say, one of the things I miss is because my dad has dementia, and he can't play cards anymore because he can't remember how to play, what to play, and that stuff, and he just gets frustrated. And I miss that. I miss playing cribbage with my dad. And if you don't know how to play cribbage, there's another fun game to learn how to play. But I have to say, I'm very happy to have my dad. I'm 61 years old, and I have some of you know the story, some of you don't, but I take care of my parents. My parents are 84 years old. My mom still is pretty vibrant, but my dad has dementia, and he needs a little help getting dressed in the morning. But he's on his own other than that. But, now I have to help him get dressed in the morning. But yeah, he can't play cards anymore. And that's one of the things I have to admit I'm gonna miss. But I'm very, very happy. I still have him with me. We're still gonna celebrate Thanksgiving together. And hopefully, I hope you guys all get together with your families on Thanksgiving. And let me tell you right now, the blessing is to give thanks for just having everybody there, having your family there, having the loved ones with you. I can't think of a better gift to get on Thanksgiving anyway. But I hope you have a wonderful and safe Thanksgiving. I hope you're traveling safe, because it's not just important to get there, it's really important to get home too. But stay with me. I got a final thought on the Drayway. One more stop. Stay with me. My final thought is in a very long one. It's a pretty short one, because I think Biden has taken a lot of abuse for no reason. I think a lot of people do not realize what President Biden has done for this country. And I think it's going to be overlooked by many, and it shouldn't be, because Biden has been everything we expect out of a president. And when Biden was handed the office, when Biden stepped in, maybe suddenly all of you forget how horrible things were, but millions of people were out of jobs. People were still dying of COVID, and it was very important to have someone organize things and get the shots out that were needed to move on from COVID. But everybody seems to forget everything Biden did to put all of that together, and then put together comprehensive plans to re-energize the country and get the economy going again. And here we did it better than anyone in the world. Our economy over the last 4 years has been booming compared to other countries. Everyone wants to look and go, well, back in this page, it could have been higher here. Biden had to come back from a pandemic, for crying out loud. You give a pass to Trump. You sit there and go, well, he lost millions of jobs because of a pandemic. But you don't give Biden the slightest inch when he took on the pandemic right from the time he hit the Washington door. But none of you give him any credit. And this morning I finally see some TikToks honoring the fact that Donald Trump is coming into office, but Biden got all of these things done before Donald Trump gets into office. All those things are, look at all the judges that President Biden has gotten passed in the Senate. All those federal judges, many of which I want to bring up right now, many of those judges are black. And that's important, because they should be in judges. They should be in places of power. That's the America that I know. The America I know isn't a bunch of white people. That's not the America I know. But every time I hear someone say, "Well, what has Biden done for black people?" he did the right thing and put a lot of them in extremely important positions on the bench. It matters. May not matter to you, but it matters. So I just want people to stop for just a minute and think about and really look at the data, look at the evidence of what Biden has actually done. And it's pretty damn impressive. And if you just don't want to look, okay, you just don't want to look. You just want to deny the facts. But you can't. You can try, but that's why I'm here. I'm here to give you the facts. And the facts are that that as a president, Biden just put in 4 years more black people on the bench than any other president in history. And that's a fact. So deal with it. That's the Dre Way for today. Thank you for joining me. Have a great week. Have a safe week. I will be with you every single day, even through the holiday. Yes, you can even cut turkey to the Dre Way. What a better way to spend your Thanksgiving when you're not playing cards or playing Uno or playing backgammon. You might as well watch an episode of the Dre Way. But the Dre Way is every day, and I hope you join me every day here at the Dre Way. I'll see you guys tomorrow.